Hello Flosstube and all my lovely stitchy friends. I hope this is finding you all well and happily stitching. This is Flosstube number 34 and it's Friday the 24th of May. Thank you for joining me, whether you are a regular viewer and you watch every video or whether you're new, and I hope if you are new you really like what you see and you'll come back and maybe just press that subscribe button and come back and visit again. So my name is Sally. I'm Flossie Sews and Grows here on YouTube and on Instagram. I talk mainly about cross stitch, which is a bit of a passion, and I also do some other crafts here and there. I used to quilt, but that's kind of passed me by a little bit now. So I've got lots of material and lots of half done quilty things that occasionally I will show you. But also I do have an allotment that I share with my partner, who is affectionately known as Mr. Dig on social media because he is in charge of doing the digging. Although saying that, we are very much a no dig gardeners, so it's a bit of an ironic name really. But anyway, it's been 2 weeks since I last checked in with you, so I just wanted to show you how I've been progressing with my 50 new starts for 50, which I'm doing with the lovely Sarah from @SewMeSarah, and our hashtag is #FunFor50SAL. Sarah and I both are 50 this year, so we decided to celebrate together and do 50 new starts. And I've hit 25, I've hit halfway as we come to the end of May, so I think that's pretty good. And I did get a finish this in the last 2 weeks as well. Actually, I got 2, yay! So I'll show you those. So I was hoping to come to you earlier in the week actually. May is quite a long month, there's 5 weeks, and I tend to film every other week, so it's kind of thrown me off schedule a little bit. I've just had a really busy couple of weeks with one thing and another with work, organising. I help organise my daughter's dance school show, so I'm quite involved in the backstage of that and organising and helping, so that's taken up a bit of time. So time's just got away with me, so I thought today I'll do a regular Flosstube to catch you up on where I am with my stitching, and I'm going to really try hard to come back next week, so just leave a week 10 days and come back and talk to you a little bit more about how I've been kitting up my 50, because I know quite a few of you, and I thought suggested that that's something I could do. If you said, oh, I'd really like to see how you're doing it and how you're managing it, and you know, it has been quite an evolving thing of how I started initially and kind of what I'm doing now that I'm halfway through. So lots to show you. I've got a full ironing board here. I think I'm becoming as famous for my ironing board next to me as I am for my love of chickens. So there we are. So my first finish is Itch to Stitch. So this is by October Fibre. I can't remember the name, but I can see the pattern. There we go. It's October House Fibre Arts. I always get it mixed up. And it is the Itch to Stitch. And I'm actually really pleased with this now. I think when I spoke to you last, I'd made a bit of a boo-boo and that I'd started stitching this bobbin in one colour, and then when I was watching Felicity at kayaking in the pool, I inadvertently picked the wrong colour. But one of my friends said to me, if you hadn't have told me, I wouldn't have noticed. And you know, we all like a bit of variegation in our thread, don't we? So I think it's actually turned out much better than I'd thought, and I'm really pleased with it. So I've stitched it on a 40 count mystery fabric, so a little scrap that I had out of my wonderful bag that I bought a couple of years ago, of someone else's scraps, which have become my treasure. And I've stitched it with a mix of the called for DMC, the call for Classic Colourworks, and I've thrown in some Roxy Floss Co colours there as well, because I just wanted to be able to use those. So I'm really pleased with that. plans in my mind of what I could do with it, because I had thought it could be for a, I've got a couple of retreats later this year. I did think it could be for the Smalls Exchange for those, but then I wasn't happy with that colour with the bobbin mistake. But now actually I think it looks great and I'm not so worried about that. So a couple of ideas. So I might leave that for a bit of a surprise for when I actually do it. Another finish was actually a start and a finish. And this was Mildred Strawberry, which took me 2 evenings, which was fantastic. So Mildred Strawberry is out of the In Friendship's Way booklet by Blackbird Designs that was really kindly gifted to both Sarah and I by our friend Roz, who is at Roz Clark Crafts. And this was a gift that she gave us at the beginning of the year to celebrate our 50th years. So Mildred Strawberry was this one. Now both Sarah and I started this together and we've both done it in different colours, and Sarah's is beautiful. Sarah's is a lot more pinks and browns and subtle, and it's very pretty, very, very pretty. I decided to do mine in some anchor linen threads that I'd been kindly gifted by Groves. And I'd not had a project when these came. They come as a pack, and actually they'd come with a pattern of a house, and it was lovely. But I think there's nicer houses in patterns that I've got, so I thought I'm not going to stitch that, but I'll try them when I get a pattern that I think would work well with it. And I think this one did. So here is my little finished Mildred's Strawberry. Be nice if YouTube gave me a screenshot of that for my title. So actually I'm really, really pleased with this. I think the colours have turned out beautifully. I wanted it to be brighter. I think it's a beautiful pattern, and there it is again. It's actually on the back of the book, but I think in the browns and the dark blue I felt for a butterfly. I mean, maybe that's more of a moth, but I just felt that I wanted it to be brighter. So I'm really pleased with how that turned out. And obviously 2024 for the year I turned 50 and my initials. And actually Sarah's put 50 at the top of hers, which I wish I'd thought about now, but still it's similar. So really, really pleased with that finish. Now, these are beautiful. The colours are just absolutely beautiful. They're 100% linen, 15 metres. But I didn't enjoy stitching with them as much as I enjoy with DMC. I think because I'm already a linen stitcher, they're very like linen in that, linen isn't even. It sometimes gets subs. So there are a couple of places where I feel my stitches aren't as even because there's been a little slub in the linen. And also Sarah had already warned me that you need short pieces when you're stitching because it does shred. Excuse me. And so I'd already taken heed of that, but it does do it quite quickly. And I think I made one or two minor mistakes and had to unpick it a couple of times. And if I unpicked it, I then had to finish off the thread and start again, because unpicking it really did cause a problem in that it made it, it was fluffy in the bits of fluffy thread. Now, I wonder, this was on 40 count, so it was quite tight. So I do wonder if the thread, if it was used on a 30, 36 or a 32, whether it wouldn't shred quite as much. But I enjoyed it. I was glad I'd chosen something quite small for using the threads, and yeah, I'm glad I've tried them. So actually, just hang on till the end of the video, and we might see what I might do with those. I might just give them away. Anyway, so those were my two finishes, and I did have another start as well. So this was start number 24 of my 50. And this is the Dreaming of Summer SAL, so the Stitch Along by Love Poppet. And this started, so it was 2 weeks ago yesterday. No, was it last week? It was the 16th, wasn't it? That was last week. Did I start it last week? I must have done. I can't remember. Oh, my brain. Oh, my brain. So this is the Dreaming of Summer SAL by Love Poppet, and this is part number 1 that I have finished. So I was really kindly gifted the kit by Claire at Love Poppet, and so I did want to get part 1 finished. So as you all know, and those of you who've been watching me from the start will have seen my journey in how how this developed. I prefer to stitch with 1 strand of thread. This is a 32 count even weave that came with the kit, and I thought, well, you know me, I'm going to give it a try stitching it with 1 thread instead of 2, and actually the coverage is brilliant. It looks gorgeous still. I did worry a little bit about those white see, the brain's gone again. Can't remember what the flower is called. Can't remember at all. But I did worry whether that white would stand out well enough, because it's a cream even weave with the white. But it looks, in real life, it looks great. I don't think it looks too bad on the screen actually either. So I'm really pleased with my progress so far on that. I have messaged Claire this morning just to double check. The SAL does close on the 29th of May, so that's in a couple of days. That's the middle of next week, I think, just to ensure that Claire can make sure she keeps on top of getting all the parts out to the people that have subscribed to it. So if you'd like to take part for the kit and the PDF, the last chance to purchase is the 29th of May next week, because the next part is then out on the 30th, the next day. So I think the 29th is Wednesday and the 30th is Thursday. So really, really pleased with this so far. The colours are beautiful, the design's beautiful, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's on a 32 count even weave that came with the kit, and also the beautiful threads that came with it as well. Lots of beautiful. They're just gorgeous. Just gorgeous, and I really can't wait. You know I love pinks and purples, so I can't wait for that little gorgeous palette to come. So I'm really looking forward to the next part of this being released. It's a nice it's not too complicated, a pattern. It's just a nice in front of the TV evening one that I'm really enjoying, really enjoying. I'm just going to pop everything away today as I go. Otherwise it'll be chaos in here by the end of this. So that was start number 24. So now on to my whips. I have been doing a reasonable amount. Haven't touched this one for about a week and a half. I think this was the first 2 days after I last spoke to you. I stitched on this one, and this is Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's 10 Merry Sailors and Their Loyal Dog. It was an exclusive for Stitch in London last year, and I do believe this will be available directly from Jacob and Modern Folk Embroidery at some point, which I'm sure it won't have the Stitch in London bit at the bottom, but and I haven't got a picture of where I was with this one last time, and actually it doesn't look like I've done very much. I think so. I can't remember if last time I had stitched this, but if I had to undo it all and restitch it because I'd actually left out one of these legs, so I didn't have to do the top, undo the top two, but had to. No, I didn't have to undo the bottom one, but I had to do, oh yeah, so I had to unpick. So actually I've spent time on this, but that's not a huge amount to show for it really. And then I think I have also gone and I've stitched a little bit more around here, and I've got the L in as well, I think, to start doing the writing at the bottom, so I can start perhaps getting some of the border done at some point. So it doesn't look like I've made a huge amount of progress with that one, but I have spent some time on it, which that's always a little bit frustrating as a stitcher, isn't it, when you when you spend time stitching on something and realise it's wrong and then have to unstitch it and redo it. And that actually happened yesterday. What was I stitching on yesterday? Oh, what was I stitching on yesterday? Oh, Barbara Anna, Gardener Dreams. I stitched the same thing, I think, 3 times and picked it 3 times. It happens, doesn't it? It really does happen. So whip number 2 is Spring Quaker by Lila's Studio. This is one of my biggies, and there's quite a few of us that are stitching this actually. We started this as a stitch along for my lovely friend Alex, who is Salex_stitches on Instagram. And Alex has become a really lovely friend of mine. She's over in Germany, and we have quite a few Zooms, and we've had a Spring Quaker Zoom already, which has been lovely. I can show you the progress, or where I was last time I showed this to you. So there's quite a few of us stitching on this, as well as Alex and I. Caroline from Caroline's Stitch Corner, Ruth, who is at Country Gal 854, Marianne Johnson is joining us, and also Jen's Fibre Web is joining us as well. And I think there are a few others, and I'm so sorry if I've forgotten to mention you. Again, hanging threads. So I have managed to get more of this basket in. So I have had another Zoom with Alex and friends where I've managed to get some more of that checkerboard in. I think I've also managed to get that flower done and try and do a little bit of work on the houses there. So slow but steady progress. This is definitely one that will be carried over to 2025. It won't be finished this year because it's a bit of a biggie. But that's okay. As you know, I think I've mentioned it before, I'm really desperate to do Whip Go and have a Whip Go board next year. So should have said, stitching it on Fabric by Crafty Kate. It's called Bluetiful, and it is. The Bluetiful is beautiful, and it's a 36 count. I'm using at the moment called for DMCs and Fancy Floss. However, there will be changes later on. Certainly with the Quakers, I think I've spoken to you before about my plans for changing the Quakers from the browns on there into blues. And it's wonderful. Everyone that's stitching along with us is doing something different. There's somebody that is actually doing the called for Quakers, and then Alex and Caroline I think are both doing greens. Ruth is just doing beautiful aqua blues. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can't remember what Mary has told us she's doing. And then obviously I'm doing mine in blues, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Amy from Renewing Stitches. Hi Amy, I hope you're well. Is going to be joining us soon, so I'm really looking forward to what Amy is planning on doing with hers. So next whip, I'm really gunning for a finish on this one. So this was a freebie from Maloka Designs. You signed up to her newsletter a couple of months ago, and it was a freebie that she sent out. And I'm afraid I've got hanging threads on this one because I'm really gunning for a finish. Really gunning for a finish. I've hopefully popped in a picture as well of where I was last time with this. But as you can see, I'm getting his legs are nearly done at the bottom. His body is practically all filled in. And it's now his tail that needs a bit of work. And I'm really, this has been the one that I've been, right, I'm going to pick that up. I want it finished. I want it finished. So I'm hoping by the next time I speak to you, maybe the time after, it's such a lovely stitch, but it is a bit fiddly. It is a bit fiddly with all the colour changes, and perhaps you're doing 10, 15 stitches in one colour and then another colour, and it's quite stitch heavy and it's taking time, but it's really enjoyable. Really enjoyed that. So I'm stitching on a 36 count white or antique white, can't remember, not sure which one, without putting them side by side, and predominantly using the called for DMCs on that one. I think I pretty much had them all in stash. There were just a couple I had to go and buy, and there was one substitute. So not far on that one. I don't think I'm that far away actually on this one either. So this is Gathering Strawberries by Annie B's Folk Art. I think I have got a picture of where I was with this one the last time I spoke to you, so I will pop that in. But I know that the most standout thing that I have done is add all the strawberries to that strawberry pot there, and then just filled in. I know I filled in some of the other bits where I had colour missing, and I've done a little bit more on the lady there, although I have made a mistake on her dress. I've made it a bit wide, but I wasn't going to undo it. I couldn't be bothered. And I don't think it doesn't look too bad. She just looks like she's got a bit of a hoop skirt, a bit of a hoop dress on. This is on a 32 count even weave from Tom and Lily Creates. It's from their summer pack last year, and there were three colours in there. The darker pink was called Bollywood, and I can't for the life of me remember what this one was called. I have told you before, I believe. Oh, I think it was a flower. Was it hyacinth? Can't remember, but it's just beautiful. You know, the colour, the charted colour is picture this plus ochre, so it's kind of pinky beige, but I think it looks beautiful on this bright pink. So I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased with it. Again, not a huge amount to go. It's just plodding on, and if I didn't have so many new starts, there'd be more finishes, but that's okay. It's I'll finish it when I finish it. It's not far off, it will happen. And my last whip, gosh, cracking through them today, is Barbara Anna Designs, and it's A Garden of Dreams. Now I'm stitching this with Sally, my friend Stitchy Sally, and we tend to stitch on Wednesday nights, which is our hashtag Barbara Anna Wednesday. And also joining us on this one is Debbie Ann 2018. I'm not sure if I've got a picture of where I was on it last time, but I will pop it in if I have. And again, I've got a hanging thread because I have made a mistake and I've just stopped stitching, and I'm going to work my way up now. So here we go with this one. Again, I'm stitching this on a 32 count even weave. I'm stitching it over with one strand of thread, but I think you will agree the coverage is fantastic. And I did make a mistake somewhere here in the hair. Don't know quite what I did, but I kind of have got over here and realised I've had to add another up here, add in another row of hair. So I think I've missed one along here somewhere. So this here is now kind of slightly out of kilter. So I've gone down here now to work, and I'm going to work up, and then it'll just be a case of missing a thread or missing a stitch or adding a stitch in somewhere up here just to frog this then to be in the right place, because this is slightly out as well. This is in the correct place, but this is just slightly out up here because there's something wrong in the hair, but that's fine, it's okay. She's beautiful. And yeah, this is the little doodah that I stitched, unpicked, stitched, unpicked, stitched, unpicked, stitched last night. No, the night before, Wednesday night. Yeah, I could have left it. Oh, and then also I'd stitched, that was the other thing. So now I think Wednesday night I'd stitched this, and I got to finishing it up, kind of closing it. I'd gone round. I was like, I got right to the end, and I was like, oh, I've made a mistake. It's not where it should be. So I did frog that. I did undo it and then restitched it. So last night was a little bit of a frustrating evening. Maybe I should be concentrating a little bit more. I think, was I watching Flosstube? I think I probably was. Yeah, Flosstube and stitching. Most of the time I can multitask and do both. Just very occasionally. I think I've had a hard day at work and or a busy day at work, and yeah, it just perhaps didn't go quite as planned. So that is where I am with my whip. So I think I'd worked on roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things over the 2 weeks, which is about normal for me. And again, coping with the 50. Really pleased to be halfway. Feeling occasionally a little bit, you know, I have got my new starts planned out, or the dates kind of for this month, for the following month, and just occasionally I'm a little bit, you know, I do get the bit between my teeth that I have to finish something. You know, I have to, like the rooster, I'm almost a little bit, I want to finish it this weekend before I start on my next new start, just to get one. And that's, you know, that's just pressure I'm putting on myself. It doesn't matter if I do or not at all. It doesn't matter at all. I'm on kind of 14, 15 whip still. So I think that's probably about as many. I thought initially I was like, oh, I'll be fine at about 20, but I think kind of 14, 15 is about my maximum actually. And it is, I've still got quite a few smalls in the mix for the next couple of months, but then I have also got some biggies in there, so we'll see. It might be that I start to feel a little bit more pressure as some of the biggies get started and I'm not able to finish things, or I get the smaller things finished and then there's no smalls left to finish. We'll see, but I'm happy and I'm enjoying it, and I know Sarah's really enjoying it still too. So, you know, that's at the end of the day, that's the thing, isn't it? It's all about fun. So one thing, I can't wait. I'm about to start this one with thy hands. I think I've told you this before. Starting this on Monday with Natalie from Sew Stitch Sew. And I've been dying to start it. Natalie said, oh, we could start it in June. I was like, no, it's got to be May. I can't wait any longer. So that's all kitted up and ready to go for Monday. So very excited. We have got plans on Monday, so I might have to get out of bed really early and try and get an hour stitched on it before anyone else gets up. It's a bank holiday, so it's achievable. My plans for June. So 1st of June, I think I've talked to you a couple of times now about this already. I'm now fully kitted up with the for the Rainbow Quaker from the Vivsters, which is part of the hashtag Stitch the Rainbow SAL with CXC threads that I've got. So that's all ready to go, and I'm going to start that on the 1st of June. Again, can't wait to start that. So 2 biggies within a week of each other. And that one, so as you know, Sarah and I were given prompts by all of you, not all of you, but quite a lot of you out there who sent us in a prompt to try and work in with our 50 new starts. So the prompt for Teresa Koga, just put it away, that was, so there were 2 for that. One was stitch something with a stitchy theme, which came from Ros Clark. So that's obviously got a stitchy theme. And the other one was stitch something with scissors on it, which came from Crafting with Fizzy. So that covers 2 of my prompts. And then the Rainbow Quaker by the Vivsters. I took this from Karen Christmas. The prompt was something with a colour in the name of the pattern. Well, the pattern is Rainbow Quaker. So I thought, rainbow, it's not strictly a colour, but it covers lots of colours. So I thought that was a really good prompt to use for that one. So I hope you don't mind me being slightly creative with that one, Karen. And then my next start, I'm going to start this on the 14th of June, which is a Friday. I don't work. I work Monday to Thursdays, and I do have to go in and check my emails on a Friday and just check everything's kind of ticking along and there's nothing urgent to do. But that's more of a, you know, just doing that a couple of times a day. So it's predominantly my day off on a Friday. And it's going to be a busy week that week. So the Sunday before, we are going to have not a dress rehearsal, we're going to have a tech rehearsal for my daughter's dance show, which I'm very much involved in, and that's on the Sunday. And then on the following Sunday, there is going to be a dress rehearsal at the theatre, and then the show is the following week on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. So I just thought on that Friday, I will just need an hour or two of total me time, quietness, and that. So I thought it's a really good day for a new start. So I'm going to start Summer Bouquet from Yaz at Yasmin's Made with Love. And my prompts for this, so very cheekily, Yaz gave a prompt of Stitch a Chart by Yasmin's Made with Love. So that covers that prompt. But also Justine Stitching also gave a prompt of Stitch something by chart from somebody that I've met. And I have met Yasmin at Stitch in London, and also I've met her on Zoom a couple of times now. We've done a few stitchy calls together because we've got some friends in common, namely Charlie Feathers. Really, is Charlie brought Yasmin and I together. Hi Charlie, hope you're okay and having a nice day off too. So that will be my 14th of June start, and the called for fabric for this is Bluetiful by Fabrics by Crafty Kate, which you all know I do have some of because I'm stitching Spring Quaker on it, so I need to cut a little bit off the art. I'm stitching that on a fat quarter, and I know I don't need a fat quarter, so I can take enough off. I've already planned it. Take enough off to get Summer Bouquet on as well. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Some nice block stitching, nice big blocks of colour. Not a massive one. So really looking forward to starting that one. And then I haven't got it yet in a package. It's still empty. I need to print it off and I need to kit it up. I've got ideas. The last start for June that I've got planned at the moment is Light by Barbara Anna, and this is one that Sarah and I are stitching together, and I already know that there's quite a few of you who have said that you're going to start it with us, which is fantastic. We're going to start it on the 26th of June. The 26th, because that then gives June, July, August, 3 months until my 50th, because my 50th is the 26th of September. So that's a kind of 3-month countdown for me. So yeah, very exciting. The last 3 months of being 49. So we're going to stitch that one together. If you'd like to join us, it is a freebie. And if you go to Barbara Anna on Instagram and go to her link tree, you can then go to, there's a link there that will take you to that freebie. So that's where you can download it from. So I really hope, I can't, there's quite a few of you who've told me that you're going to join in, and I haven't yet written it down. So I will, when I start it, say who else is joining Sarah and I on that one. And oh yes, so the prompt for that was kindly given to us by Kathleen from Kathleen's Trodden Trails, and Kathleen's prompt was stitch something that starts with the, or has something with the start of your name. So I'd already started, so S-A-L-L-Y. So I've already done S with Spring Quaker. I've already done A that I stitched. Oh, I thought it was A Little House, but actually Little House Needleworks aren't A Little House. So I've really mucked that one up, haven't I? So I'll have to put another one in for A. Whoops, because I can see a chart right in front of me where it just says Little House Needleworks. It's not A Little House. Ho hum. But this one, luckily, Light starts with an L. So that is the first L of Sally. So that will be the prompt for Light for me. So I have talked to you a couple of times. I was going to do this one as well. I think I put it into May, and then I think I've moved it to June. And at the moment, I'm not sure. I've got 3 starts for June. But this would be my 4th. I don't really want to add a 5th. But I have been very, very enabled by the lovely Marion and Fanny at the Soul Stitchers, who, so this is part of my haul. They showed this chart, which is Floral Hen, and it's by Nath Nolu on Etsy. It's not very often, I think actually it's the first time ever that I've actually stopped a floss tube mid floss tube and I've gone to Etsy and bought something. But you know I'm a bit chicken obsessed, and it's wonderful to have met Marion and Fanny because they are too. And so I had to go and buy this one mid floss tube. Stop. So Marion was influenced on this one, or enabled on this one, by Amber at Rogue Mama Stitcher, and Marion had said to me, well, I think Amber's going to do it as a SAL in June, so we'll start it all together. Now I watched Amber yesterday and she didn't mention it, so I need to have a conversation with Marion about whether we start it in June or whether we wait for Amber. So I may add that in as a 4th for June. So at the moment, Big Chicken Little Pin Keep is not going in June because I don't want to do 5. I want to do 4 max in June because I don't want to overface myself, because it's going to be a really busy month with the dance show as well. So this one may go into July. I do want to just tell you about one of my plans for July though. I'm sure you all listen to the lovely Michelle at Mama Loves You GB, and Michelle has decided to do a SAL for the first 2 weeks of July when Wimbledon's on. And Wimbledon obviously is very famous in the UK for strawberry consumption. So I've decided that I want to stitch a strawberry with Michelle, and I'm from the Winds of Autumn book. Michelle had said that she was going to stitch First Winds of Autumn, which is this fabulous, fabulous crow and autumny. Now I had already got this on my list to start as one of my 50 new starts for 2024, and I'd got this in either August or September, and I thought, well, ho hum, let's just pull it forward a month and I'll do it in July with Michelle. So I've already got, I think I just need to do a floss toss, but I've already got some fabric there, which is a fabric of the month from Crafty Kate for February 2024, which I think will actually look really great with that. So I'm sure, I think not last week's floss tube, I think it was the week before from Michelle, where she announced that she is going to try and stitch as many strawberries as she possibly can. I'm just going to do the one. But if you'd like to join in with Stitch a Strawberry, please do. That would be fantastic. So yes, I was talking about Marion and Fanny. They are the Soul Stitchers, and they are also friends with my friend Alex at Salex Stitches. And I'd met Fanny a couple of weeks ago on a Zoom call that Alex had invited me along to. No, I think it was Caroline's. It was one of Caroline, who is Caroline's Stitch Corner. It was her Zoom call that I originally met Fanny. And then Alex invited me to one last weekend, and Marion also joined that as well. And I have found my chicken tribe. I've definitely found my chicken tribe. So both Fanny and Marion have chickens at home as well. And so we have, we're all quite obsessed with chickens and chicken patterns. And actually it was really funny during that Zoom call last weekend. Everybody went to have a look at the other patterns that Nath Nolu on Etsy do, and there were some really lovely ones, and there were a few purchases made, not by me, mainly by Alex, but there were a few purchases made of a few other patterns. Oh, I think Caroline bought a couple as well, and Marion actually did go and buy the floral hen because they did have a little. They had a little 25% off last weekend. Go and have a look, Nath Nolu. They might still have that little extra 25% off, so it's not hugely expensive charts on Etsy. Oh, but it was lovely, that call, actually, because Erin from the Hathaway Stitches, Erin is at Cozy Town Stitches, she came and joined the call as well, so it was really lovely to meet her. And her, Alex and Amity, who is Erin's sister, and Amity is at Boomerang Stitches, they have all set up a new Instagram page, group, feed, I'm not sure what you call it, called at @crossstitch_salander, as in calendar, but salander. So they have done this to make it easier to find SALs and stitch alongs. So if there's something you want to join in on, or there's something that you perhaps already stitching, go and have a look at the Instagram feed and go, oh yeah, I'm doing that one. And then you can find out perhaps who's hosting it, that perhaps go and share with them that you're also doing it. And it's just, you know, it's a lovely, lovely way to carry on engaging with other people in our community and meeting other people and talking to other people, because stitchers are wonderful, wonderful, lovely people. And, you know, I've met some really, really lovely friends since I started, especially since I started doing Flosstube, I think more so. But certainly, you know, it started through Instagram before I started Flosstube, of meeting wonderful people. And you never know where things might lead to. You know, obviously I met Charlie on Instagram, who stitches with Charlie Feathers, and we then met at Stitch in London. And, you know, at the time Stitch in London, the company I worked for had a vacancy, and she just happened to be the most perfect person for it, and she's fitted in fantastically. So we now work together. So, you know, making those contacts and those communities, it's really wonderful. It's really wonderful. And stitchy kindness. There is stitchy kindness. So many of you know Elaine, who's Ellie Welly Stitcher, and she's now moved up to Wales, and we met before Christmas for lunch and we've become firm friends. We both went to Cheshire Stitchers, so not last Saturday but the Saturday before, and that was lovely. Met up with Catherine, who's Cat V Stitches, and then a friend of Elaine's, Sharon, who goes to Essex Needles, was there as well. She's called the Happy Valley Stitcher. Oh my goodness, Sharon is amazing. She's just hilarious, absolutely hilarious, very, very funny. And I think, I'd taken the Spring Quaker actually, so I managed to get quite a lot of the of that basket of the blocks done, because you don't have to look at a pattern, it's all one colour. It's really easy to do when there's other people talking and there's other things going on. I managed to get quite a lot stitched. I think Sharon, in the whole, you know, we were there from 12 till maybe 4:30. She was doing a new start, and she said, look, I've got a new start. And someone came and said to her, you can't count it as a new start until you've stitched 30. Was it 30 or 35 stitches? So she was determined to stitch that many stitches. I think she just made it. I think she might have done 40 stitches in 4 hours. So it's great, but she was talking so much, and she's an absolute wonderful person, such a character. So Sharon, if you're watching, it was really lovely to meet you. I really enjoyed it. Elena told me that she was going to be there, and she said, you'll really like her, she's lovely. And Elaine was right. So a little bit of stitchy kindness. So Elaine kindly passed on some charts to me that she thought might come in really useful, especially the Lizzie Kate one with some smalls for my 50 new starts. So that was a really lovely one. And then Elaine knows me really well. This one from Collection Tralala in Autumn. A really lovely, lovely little witch. And oh, it's got a little mouse on it as well. I do like that one. So that will be stitched at some point. And then just checking my notes. I'm just checking my notes. Just where to start on this one, really. So there's a lovely lady called Donna over in the States who is Stitch X Love. And Donna had put on her feed that she had rescued, and I might see if I can pop a little picture in here actually, she had rescued 27 projects, finished projects, but not fully finished projects, from a Goodwill store in the States. And she put a picture up saying, I bought these because I couldn't leave them behind. Is there anyone out there who would like one and like to finish it? And I just thought, oh, how lovely is that? And just, you know, what an absolute shame that, you know, these have ended up in Goodwill and somebody's hard work and stitching, and wouldn't it be lovely to try and appreciate that? So I volunteered and said, yes, please, I'd love one. And then the lovely Kat, who is at the Apple Treen, Treen, volunteered that if there was anyone in the UK, that if Donna posted them to her, she would then post them on out to the people in the UK. And I think there were a couple of us. So Donna got in touch and said, right, these are the ones I've got. Which one of them would you like? And I went for this one. So a little Happy Christmas. Let me just get, I think we just need the board just to give a little bit of, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I would say it's stitched on a, I'd say it's stitched on a 32 count actually, but it's stitched 1/1. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm pretty sure that this is a shepherd's bush pattern, but I'm not 100% sure. It's beautiful. It's stitched, yeah, so it's stitched 1/1, and there's little beads on there as well. Absolutely gorgeous. And Donna sent it with a little note just saying thank you for helping with the project, and the hashtag for this is #ForgottenFinishes if you want to go and have a look, and obviously a little sticker of hers, which Kat, thank you, then forwarded it on. So it's really tiny. It's really tiny. It's what is it? Two inches wide. Is it, but not even 2 inches high, and 1.5 inches high. So how do you think I should finish this off? Put me a comment below and give me an idea of what you think I should do to finish that. But isn't that wonderful? And just, I'd love to know who it was who stitched it. I really would. It'd be really wonderful to know. And yeah. But come on, people, get your things fully finished. As I look at the massive pile in front of me. So that was a really, really lovely bit of stitchy kindness, and a really fantastic thing for Donna and both Cats to help her to do it, to get some to the UK. Yes, so talking about appreciating other people's stitching, I have remembered this week to bring along a Stitch by Mum. And this week it's a cushion that she made me, and she made this. Oh, how long have I had this? I've had this since, oh, sorry, upside down. I've had this since before my daughter was born, because she stitched this for me when I was quilting, which was before Felicity was born, and Felicity's 14 now. And I know it's a Jeanette Douglas pattern, and it's called Take the Time to Quilt. And as you can see, blown away, absolutely blown away by Mum's beautiful beading, stitching, all the speciality stitches that there are in there as well. Just, oh, and there's a little charm in the middle there as well. Yeah, so just, and then she's obviously made it into a cushion. And who was I watching? There was somebody that I was watching on YouTube yesterday. Oh. And she'd made something into a cushion, and she said about how her husband always sat on her cushions. And I said to her, did he not know that cushions were not made for sitting on? Did he not realise my mum has got beautiful cushions on her sofa? And as a teenager, I had to learn that you didn't sit on the cushion, before you sat on the sofa, you took all the cushions off and you put a blanket down and then you sat on the sofa. And I've tried to instill that in my daughter and my partner as well. I learned quite quickly when his boys were here. So his boys are now in their 20s, but when they came as teenagers, you don't have the nice cushions on the sofa because I'd just get cross. So we have some beautiful cushions, and actually they're still now because nobody else really cares. My beautiful cushions are in a cupboard waiting until I have no children in the house, and then the beautiful cushions will come back out. But this is a beautiful cushion that lives on a chair that cannot be sat on because it would break if anyone sat on it in my bedroom, so that I can really appreciate that. So yeah, it's really, really, really lovely to appreciate my mum's stitching. And then finally, Flosstubers I've been watching. So I have watched this week Sian from Periwinkle Stitcher. She put out her first Flosstube, and it's wonderful because she's a Welsh stitcher, so it's lovely to have another Welshie on board. But she quilts as well, so which is really wonderful, and I think she's hit Flosstube by storm. So welcome to Flosstube, Sian. It was lovely to see your first Flosstube, and I look forward to seeing many more. So go and have a watch. So that's Sian, who's at Periwinkle Stitcher. So just finally, I said about these anchor threads that I enjoyed stitching with, but perhaps, you know, not enough to keep them. So, and as they were gifted to me, I thought I would pass the love on and gift them to one of you. So this will be a UK only giveaway this time, I'm afraid, just because they're a little bit bulky, so won't be quite as easy to post abroad, or won't be quite as cheap to post abroad. But if you would like to win these, as I've used a couple, and I've used perhaps taken off a short length off a couple. So they have been used, not all of them, but not very much. So you'll be getting pretty much 15 meters on all of them. So if you'd like to win these, just make me a comment below which has the word linen in it. So if, as usual, you could be a subscriber, that would be fantastic. So if you haven't yet subscribed and you're still here, click the button below. And please make sure you're 18 so that I can ask for your address so that I can send these to you. And please also don't use the word giveaway or any of those horrible words that, well, they're not horrible words, they're lovely words because they're great, you know, giveaways and competitions, great words. But please don't put them in the comments because that does attract trolls, which aren't good for us. I want to make sure these go to a stitcher who'll try them, use them. If you like them, you can carry on stitching with them, but if not, maybe you pass them on to someone else who would perhaps like to try them and is curious. So if you'd like to win them, pop a comment below that says linen. That's me. That is me done for today. I think I've talked about everything that's on my wonderful list that's in front of me that tries to help this perimenopausal brain remember everything that I need to tell you. I'm not sure if I've remembered to look into the camera this time. I think I'm looking vaguely off that direction somewhere instead of at you. But hopefully you'll forgive me for that. It's been lovely to speak to you and show you all my stitching as usual. I really hope you've enjoyed it and that I'll see you again soon. I would like to do a video, as I said, in about a week I'll show you what I've done and what stitching I've done in that week, and then also I will I just want to show you how I've been kitting up. And I've realised I can't just talk to you about it. I've kind of got to be a little bit prepared and a little bit planned on how I tell you and how I share things with you, just to make it a little bit easier for you to see what I'm doing. So thank you for joining. Lovely to speak to you all. Happy stitching. Keep safe. Keep stitching. Be happy. I'll see you soon. Bye.